Hello and welcome to Thinking Aloud from WPNC and Go Donate, the podcast where we get together and share our thoughts about fundraising, advertising and more. We're here to help charities find new donors, keep existing ones and make the donation process easier than ever. If you like what you hear, we'd love to chat. All our details are in the bio.
Hello, I'm Cheryl and welcome to another Go Donate session of Thinking Aloud. Today we're talking about an important aspect to the digital journey, donation landing pages. I'm joined by Vicky Reeves, Go Donate's Managing Director. Vicky, welcome again to the podcast.
Hi Cheryl, thanks for having me.
So, to kick things off, for anyone unfamiliar, can you explain what a landing page is and why it's so important for charities?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're talking about today is a landing page is a standalone web page that's within your website. It serves a single focused objective. So unlike your homepage on your website, which needs to act as a general hub and direct different people, landing pages are specifically designed to drive a specific action. So in our case, it's normally about donations. The importance for UK charities of their use can't be overstated. We're operating in a crowded digital space, and obviously that landing page needs to do quite a lot to encourage and motivate that donor to go on to make a donation, which is really important. And what's interesting is the conversion rate for charities' donation landing pages in the UK is around 21%. So it's not that high. That statistic is based out of M&R Stats that's gone across multiple charities in the UK, a lot of leading ones. That's the number of people that are going through to start that donation journey on that landing page are then going through to then actually make a donation. So it's definitely something that could be looked at.
Wow, 21%. That seems quite low. So what sort of impact could an optimised landing page have?
Yeah, well, let's say, for example, your charity receives £500,000 worth of donations per year through your website. If your donation landing page conversion rate is around 21% and you boosted that to, say, 23%, then you'd be looking at an additional nearly £50,000 worth of income just from doing some optimization. I should caveat here, though, obviously when we're talking about this, we are not talking just about the donation landing page because obviously it's the whole journey that makes a difference as well. So any optimization you can do on the landing page right the way through to the forms and payment, all these minor nudges can absolutely make a difference. And like I said, just an extra 2% on top of that 21% could be £50,000 or more, depending on how much you raise through your website.
Absolutely, yeah. Every penny counts. So when it comes to it, what are some of the key considerations for charities when creating an effective landing page that can give that kind of percentage increase or boost?
Well, I suppose the first thing to think about is understanding donor motivation. So why are people coming to that page? What are they hoping to achieve? Often a common sort of pitfall with landing pages is they can be quite cluttered and confusing. It's really important to have a nice, clean layout. Not obviously when you go into the donation forms, not lengthy donation forms. And you just need to make that whole donation process as easy and seamless as possible.
Right, yeah. And what about the creative side of the landing page?
Well, I mean, you as fundraisers know that compelling imagery and copy is, of course, really vital, but also consistency is key as well. So right the way through from where they land, right the way through the donation journey, from whatever starting point they came from. So, for example, you'll have people come through to the donation journey and landing pages from perhaps they've clicked on an email campaign or a social media post, or they've come via a direct mail pack. And it's really important that when they click through that the whole journey feels consistent. So, for example, you've got, say, a Christmas appeal and you've got certain donation prompts in that Christmas appeal and certain imagery and messaging. It's really important that when they click through from that social media post, email, whatever it is, that they then go through into a consistent look and feel all about that Christmas appeal with the same donation amounts, right? And then that takes you right through to thank you page and email as well. And related to that, charities, we spend a lot of money on direct mail packs. And if you've got a QR code in your direct mail pack, is a really great way of having a nice quick to a donation form. But I checked a few direct mail packs recently and it was quite disappointing to see on some of them that they had a QR code, so great, tick that box. But then when you went through to the donation forms, the messaging and the donation amounts were different to what I'd seen on the direct mail pack. So you can imagine, one I was looking at, it said something along the lines of that £35 would pay for an hour of care by a nurse. So I was like, okay, in my head I thought, great, I can afford that. So I then clicked through, by using the QR code. And then I was presented with different donation prompts that said something along the lines of £25 would do this and £50 would do that. So that straight away kind of threw me a little bit, and I was expecting to see the same donation amount. So it's really important to make it consistent. For those charities that use Go Donate, you can absolutely do that. Of course, you can spin up lots of different campaigns and appeals.
Consistency is key. If it's an appeal for blankets on whatever the front end is, to then that landing page or the donation form still talk about blankets. And if it's £25 or whatever the amount is, to still keep that amount. Yeah,
Exactly.
That makes complete sense. So are there any other factors that can hinder donations?
Yeah, absolutely. So mobile use, of course, is crucial. It's really important that the landing pages and the whole funnel are as mobile friendly as possible. Also, things like not having all the different payment methods is a barrier. People want flexibility and convenience when donating. They want to be able to pay in the way that's convenient to them. So things like Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, etc., all really important.
Yeah. And the actual donation form itself and those fields.
Yeah, so the donation form is critical to optimize. So every field or question that you're asking of a donor makes a difference. We want to reduce as many questions as possible. Now, I know from a charity point of view, you want as much data as possible about who the donor is, but you also need to balance that with reducing that. And especially for things like campaign-specific journeys, warm appeals, for example, you can reduce the number of fields and so on. So you don't need to ask questions like, what's the motivation? Am I paying in fundraising or things like that, when actually you don't need to ask that because it's already a warm donor, for example. It's also important to do things like minimize distractions. So don't embed your donation journeys within your website where there's lots of navigation and so on there. It's too easy for somebody to just move away. And there's lots of research done here, both in e-commerce and in the charity sector, which is why you see checkout journeys often on its own journey. Really, so, another one as well is around the number of steps. So it can be quite daunting if you see you're presented with a donation form and it says, it's got sort of 4 or 5 steps, or you just feel like you're just clicking through to the next page. You just want to try and make it as streamlined as possible.
Right, yeah, keep it simple. And so you've mentioned them already, digital wallets. Of course, they're now an everyday method of payment in our lives generally. Do digital wallets like PayPal and Apple Pay make a difference in charity giving?
Yeah, absolutely. There's loads of evidence that they increase conversion. We've done lots of testing in this space and had multiple charities have an uplift from adding these extra wallets. And we typically see now across all different types of devices, around 60% of donations are via card and 40% are via digital wallets. And that's increasing every year.
I can imagine so, especially with the generations coming along. They're all about digital wallets, the younger generations, aren't they? So it's not just about the kind of aesthetics of a landing page or donation form. It's the overall user experience too, keeping the donor on track for donation success, I take it.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, another thing as well is never to underestimate the importance of trust and transparency. So being able to display trust indicators like the fact that it's got the fundraising regulator on there, it's got security logos and testimonials, things like that can all help impact conversion rates. So having symbols of trust like that is really important as another thing to help.
Oh, that's certainly true nowadays, especially with all these online scams and hacking that's going on. Supporters certainly want to be sure that they're on a legitimate site and they're parting with their cash safely. Now, I know there's some debate around whether to send donors directly to a donation form or use a content-rich landing page. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's a really good question. So it often depends on your campaign and audience. I mean, I would always recommend A/B testing. But from a user experience point of view, if you've got a donate button in your top navigation and they've clicked that, they clearly have an intention to donate. So therefore, it should really go straight through to the donation forms rather than the landing page before it. However, if it does do that, the donation forms still need to do a little bit more than just present the form. It still needs to be motivating, encouraging, so you could have a nice image on there and maybe a little bit of text to encourage that donation, and obviously give the different donation prompts. Saying that though, I mean, donation landing pages do definitely still have a role on your website, and often it can be used when somebody clicks on, say, the navigation in the top that says support us. So when you click on support us, then it allows the potential donor to get more information about their donation, how it makes a difference, how the money will be spent, and other ways to give as well. So yeah, there has been testing done on this, and often going straight to the forms can be better, but it also depends on the charity and obviously the users coming to the website. For example, perhaps a smaller organisation might need to do a little bit more convincing of who they are and where the money's going than perhaps a large organisation that's really well known to the individual that's about to donate.
Right, yes, yeah. And you mentioned A/B testing and testing those different bits and pieces. I appreciate that certainly landing pages, they are greater tools for being able to A/B test. But again, for those who aren't familiar, can you quickly explain a little bit about the A/B testing?
Yeah, of course. So A/B testing involves creating two versions of, in this case, your landing page with slight variations. So, for example, you might have a different call to action button or a different headline or a different image. And it's about seeing which version performs better. So the way that it works is some of the users going onto the website will go to one version of it, and then some will go to the other. And it's normally done as an algorithm. So there's tools like Optimising and Hotjar and so on. Within GoDonate, we also have an A/B testing tool built in as well. So you can spin up multiple campaigns and donation funnels and test those quite easily to see which one converts better or gets the highest average gift.
Great. So with the A/B testing, it's all about finding what resonates most with your audience and then cracking on with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just about constant learning and improvement. You can never stop learning.
Absolutely. Every day's a school day. So quickly, before we wrap up, do you have any final tips for charities who are looking to optimise their landing pages?
Yeah, I guess another couple of points really, just to say, keep things nice and clear and concise, use compelling storytelling to connect with the audience, and offer suggested donation amounts is really important as well, and highlight the impact of each of those different types of donation amounts. They're often called a sort of a shopping list. Keep consistent messaging and visuals across the campaigns, like I said earlier.
Fantastic advice again, Vicky. Thank you ever so much for joining us and sharing your expertise on this.
My pleasure, Cheryl.
And that's all we have time for today. So remember, a well-designed landing page and a simplified to-the-point donation form can significantly boost your online donations, helping your charity make an even greater impact. Do join us again soon for more insights on digital fundraising, but that's for all today from us here at Go Donate. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you found that useful. To hear upcoming Thinking Aloud podcasts, subscribe now. And if you think we could help you, get in touch. Our details are in the bio.